Hello to all of my fellow 3DS collectors. Something very strange has happened. It seems as though the final 3DS game that was teased earlier this year has leaked. Let's talk about it. So it is currently Saturday, December 23rd. Happy holidays if you're watching and you do celebrate. And I was doing my typical kind of eBay watch, Mercari watch, where I will search for 3DS games, sort by newest, buy it now, and kind of just see what kind of deals get posted. I am potentially going for a full 3DS set, so it's something I just kind of do and see if something gets posted for very cheap that I don't have. So I was scrolling on eBay and I found a listing for a game I have never seen. And trust me, I've made a lot of videos about 3DS special editions, even stuff that most people don't know about, like Final Fantasy Explorers having a special edition. I pretty much am caught up to date on what versions of what games have been released on the 3DS, but something caught my eye, and that was a special edition for Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for the 3DS from Limited Run Games. Now, Limited Run Games and Shantae need no introduction. They both have a very entwined history. Starting, I think, in 2017 or 2018, they started publishing the PS4 copies of Shantae, and then into Switch with Pirate's Curse, and then moving forward, it used to be that Shantae was kind of just thrown around, like, I think Xseed or Marvelous published Half Genie Hero on the Wii U. But more importantly, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse was already released for the Nintendo 3DS by a company named Rising Star Games. And here's the back of that box, just so you can see that as well. No mention of Limited Run anywhere on this case. So when I saw this special edition posted on eBay, I was just very confused and immediately started doing research. Now, for those that don't know, Limited Run Games has released a couple of 3DS games over the years. I'll just show them really quickly here. Atui was released from them, the Atui collection that includes like Mutant Buds and Zero Drifter. And then just last year in 2022, they released Go Go Coca Polo, the Anniversary Collection. And this is actually 2 games, as you can see by these Limited Run numbers, which is going to be very important here. But in March of 2023, Limited Run Games tweeted out that they had one more 3DS game releasing. They said, "Goodnight, sweet prince. Yesterday, the 3DS and Wii U digital stores went down. Days like that remind us why we do what we do and why we'll keep on doing it. We have one last 3DS release to give you, more news to come." Now, myself and a lot of others expected this to be announced over the summer when they had their LRG3 showcase, and that announcement never came. But as you can see from the photo, the box art is very green and blue, so keep that in mind. But it looks like this final 3DS release from Limited Run Games might have leaked, so let's just go ahead and dive straight into these eBay listings. So a copy of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse Collector's Edition for Nintendo 3DS popped up on sale on eBay, and I believe the first copy that sold on eBay was on November 8th, 2023. It sold for $200, and the title of the listing was Unreleased Shantae and the Pirate's Curse Limited Run Collector's Edition. It sold for $200. The description doesn't really give any more details. They included some open photos of their own personal copy, which we'll look at in just a minute, but they didn't say where they got it, how they got it, what this is, when this released, and it kind of got me speculating what the heck's going on here. Now, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse released on the 3DS in 2016, or at least as far as I can tell, that's what the copyright on my copy of the game says at the bottom of the box here. Copyright 2016 WayForward Technologies. And since then, the value of this game has gone up quite a bit. Usually a sealed copy will go for over 100, and a used copy will go anywhere from like 80 to 100 bucks itself. But looking at the eBay photos for this listing, we can kind of see what is included in this special edition. So the first thing we have here is the single disc official soundtrack for Pirate's Curse. We will talk about that in just a bit. We have a version of the game that has a brand new cover on 3DS. Once again, here is the current 3DS copy that exists from Rising Star Games. This cover art is completely new. They have used this art for other releases, but for the 3DS version, it's new. It's not like a reversible cover or anything. This is new art for a 3DS copy of this game. There's also what I think is a reproduction, like, copy of a, like, fake, you know, little display Game Boy Color version of the game. You know, this isn't going to be a real copy of the game, right? But it's, you know, Limited Run has done this in the past where they'll give you, like, a fake little display, and it's just going to be Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for Game Boy Color, but it's not actually going to play in your Game Boy, right? And then finally, it also includes 3 art cards. Now, the soundtrack and the art cards are interesting because according to my friend Caleb, those were actually included in the collector's edition for the Switch version that released, you know, like 5 or 6 years ago. So as far as I can tell, the only actual new pieces in this collector's edition are the repro fake Game Boy Color cartridge and the new box art / big box for Pirate's Curse on 3DS. Everything else is old. It's the old soundtrack, the old art cards, and even the cartridge itself is old. Something that is interesting, however, so the cartridge is the same, it looks like, between my copy of the game versus this eBay listing. However, if you compare the manuals are actually a little bit different. Now, taking a closer look at some of the backs of these images for the copyrights, the big box, the outer boxing for this version from Limited Run has a copyright of 2018 on the back. That is the latest date given on the back of this box, which I think is very interesting because I believe that's around the time that Shantae and the Pirate's Curse came to Switch from Limited Run. The soundtrack says 2019, which makes sense because it's the same soundtrack that was included in the Switch release, but then the reproduction or fake Game Boy Color cartridge says 2023, so it was manufactured this year. Everything about this box was put together this year just by the sheer fact that that one piece is from 2023. So it's possible Limited Run has had all of these different components sitting around, and just now when they got that reproduction kind of fake Game Boy Color cartridge, they were able to put them all together and piece together this final 3DS Collector's Edition. Something else worth noting is that the back of the box does say Limited Run number 4. So once again, just to keep you up to date, the Atui collection from them was Limited Run number 1 for 3DS, whereas the Go Go Coca-Polo collection, which is 2 games, is Limited Run number 2 and Limited Run number 3. So the timing lines up that this would be the next release from Limited Run for the 3DS. But how did these copies actually get out into the wild? I mean, when I saw this eBay listing, I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, did they announce this and I missed it? Was it like a convention exclusive? Was it exclusive to their store in North Carolina? How did this 3DS game get released and I did not hear anything about it? I stay very up to date on my 3DS news, or at the very least, if something gets announced, usually someone in my community will like tag me on Twitter or in my Discord, so usually I know what's going on when it comes to 3DS games. So I did some sleuthing, and I tried to find as much as I could online about this version of the game, and that brought me to a YouTuber named Bird Dog Gaming, so huge shout out to him. He was actually, as far as I can tell, the first person on the internet to post about this version of the game, or this collector's edition from Limited Run, so I'll link his video down in the description, so you should absolutely check him out. It looks like he does a lot of similar collecting content like I do, so definitely check out his channel. And in his video, he kind of covers a lot of the same information I did about the eBay listings and potentially kind of theorizing what happened here with this release of the game. However, a comment on his video stuck out to me, and that is this comment from Deca. They said, "I randomly saw some offer-up listings of this locally in my area, but were being sold for between $30 and $60. And I was questioning if this suddenly slipped through me or not, given that I follow some people that talk about the company." So they found an offer-up listing selling this game. Now, immediately, I was like, okay, this was stolen. So I did more research, and I found the offer-up listing for this game. And as you can see from this photo, they had an entire case of the game, meaning somehow, some way, an entire case of this potentially final 3DS Special Edition was stolen. That's the only conclusion I can jump to. It was sold in San Bernardino, California, which then got me thinking, okay, well, maybe there were copies from other locations. You know, Limited Run store is in North Carolina, right? So maybe there'd be some more spread across the US in terms of where the special edition was released from. And then I started checking eBay, because on eBay you can see where sellers are shipping their games from, or shipping their items from, and as far as I can tell, every single copy was shipped from California, meaning that this person stole a case of the game somehow, and then a bunch of people saw it on OfferUp, bought it, and then tried to resell it on eBay. So, as far as I can tell, this is just a stolen shipment of Limited Run games, and I guess it will release at some point eventually in 2024, hopefully. But here's the thing, right? Limited Run Games in March of this year said that they would be releasing one final 3DS game. Now, to me, that implies that they are releasing a new game, a new game that has not gotten a physical release on the 3DS. However, in this case, it's just a repackaged version of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which already released back in 2016 through Rising Star Games. Now, this isn't something Limited Run is shy to. They have in the past, you know, kind of sold old stock and kind of repackaged it as a new thing. The example that comes to mind, my girlfriend bought this actually earlier this year during their kind of January blowout sale. They have these copies of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for the PC, and that game was sold, I think, in the late 90s or early 2000s, but they actually repackaged it into a new special edition and sold it because they had old stock. They had enough old stock to kind of just repackage it and resell it as a new game. So it seems to me that that's probably what happened here. They probably got, I don't know, maybe 1,000 copies of the Rising Star Games version of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, and then they just repackaged it and are selling it again. Which on the one hand is pretty disappointing because I was hoping for a new, unique final 3DS game, but on the other hand, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is pretty expensive, so if this allows people to get it for a little bit cheaper, at the very least, that's cool, I guess, but I don't know. Something doesn't seem quite right here, because even in the image that they tweeted out, yeah, it's a blurred photo. Maybe there wasn't actually any real, looking into this blur in terms of the coloring on the image, but that is not Shantae in that photo, or at least it's not the art they use for the final version of the game. I'm not sure what the color scheme that is blurred out here in this mosaic kind of pixelated look. I don't know what game this could be, but it's definitely not this final version of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse that leaked. Now, Bird Dog Gaming did say in his video that he reached out to Josh from Limited Run, the current owner of Limited Run, for comment, asking kind of like, hey, what's going on with this? And Josh never responded, so I kind of assumed he probably wouldn't respond to me either if I contacted him. Because this is an unfortunate situation, this is stolen stock of a game that was not supposed to be announced or released. We'll see what happens with this. I would expect an announcement probably around their summer showcase next year. This feels like something they can just hold on to and wait and just drop when they, want to. And I feel like a final 3DS game is something that they would have during, a showcase. So we'll have to wait for that official announcement. It could be sooner, considering this is all manufactured. I mean, if it's manufactured, they can ship it and sell it whenever they want. So there won't be any crazy long waiting times for this one, at least. But I guess my question to you as we end off here is, do you think this is actually the final 3DS game that we're going to get physically? We saw a couple releases over the past couple of years, Fragrant Story and Andro Dunos 2, and then of course we had Shakedown Hawaii from V-Blank just a couple months ago, but could this actually be our final 3DS game releasing in 2024? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch, 3DS, collecting content, news, all of this fun stuff, and I'll keep you updated. Once they announce it, I'll probably make a video on it. I am currently contemplating if I want to buy one of these copies that are on eBay, but I probably won't. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, folks, peace!